Morning, everybody, or afternoon. Jeez, ready for the Raptors. We're also excited for them. Thanks very much for being here today. I'm joined with Minister Monty McNaughton and my parliamentary assistant, Kinga Surma, Phil Verster, CEO of Metrolinx, Aaron Corey, President and CEO of Infrastructure Ontario, and Pierre Lavalier, Canada Infrastructure Bank. It's great to be here, and it's great to be here with Transit Partners for this great announcement. Our government campaigned on a promise to make life easier for people by improving transit, reducing congestion, and getting people home from work faster, leaving them more time that matters most. We've moved fast over the last 10 months to increase GO train service for people throughout the region, including the largest increase in GO rail service in 5 years on the Lakeshore East and Lakeshore West lines. We've increased service as well on the Kitchener line, and for the first time ever, year-round weekday commuter rail service to Niagara Falls and St. Catharines. These service increases, together with programs like kids riding free on GO 12 years and under, are making transit better for the system, better for the user of today. That's why, as part of 2019 Ontario budget, we announced our commitment to move ahead with the GO Rail expansion program to improve and expand GO train service. The GO expansion program is transforming GO Transit into a comprehensive two-way, all-day rapid transit service every 15 minutes over core segments of the GO Rail network. It will make life easier for people by shortening commutes, reducing congestion, and getting people to work and home faster, and again, leaving them for what matters most, is their time. Today, I'm pleased to announce our government is delivering on our promise by moving forward with the next stage of the GO Rail expansion program and announcing the pre-qualified teams that will work bidding on the On-Corridor Works projects, the largest capital program of the GO expansion. They are On Transit, MTR Kiewit Partners, Encore Transit, and On Express Transportation Partners. Each of these four teams was selected for their experience and ability to design, build, finance, operate, and maintain a project of this scope and complexity. Tomorrow, we will be releasing a request for proposals to these teams, and we'll look to them to apply their world-leading expertise in rapid transit for a wide range of improvements on the GO Rail network. We want to make traveling across the GTHA faster, easier, and more integrated and seamless for the experience for our customers than they've ever experienced before. And with the GO Rail expansion program, we are going to deliver on that. Our transit improvements here in the GTHA and across the province are about putting people first and showing the world Ontario is open for business and open for jobs. It's what we were elected to do. I'd like to bring up Minister Monty McNaughton.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Minister Yurek, and good afternoon, everyone. It's a great day to be here. I'm thrilled to accompany Minister Yurek to announce this very ambitious project. I also notice, as Minister Yurek mentioned, Pierre Lavalier, who has joined us from the Canada Infrastructure Bank. CIB is investing $2 billion in GO expansion, a very promising development, so thank you, Pierre, to you and your team for that contribution to this project. The project we're kicking off today is the largest transit P3 in the history of the country. It is most definitely worth celebrating because we're moving forward with a procurement that will radically transform the backbone of the GO commuter network. It includes the build-out of almost the entire skeleton of GO's railway corridor, and it's supported by a comprehensive business case which is publicly available. Bidders on this project are going to find the best new technology to replace diesel. Today is the first major step in moving towards subway-like service on the GO network. That will mean faster trains, increased ridership, lower maintenance, and I'm told lower operating GO rail costs. Our government understands how important good transit infrastructure is to any community. It is a major part of our $14.7 billion in planned infrastructure investments for this fiscal year, and of the $144 billion we're planning to invest over the next 10 years. But this is a major piece of that puzzle. The on-corridor works P3 will be different than all previous Ontario P3s. It is an outcome-based procurement. We are asking the private sector for their best, most innovative solution to a simple challenge: move people from point A to point B within a certain time frame. We aren't telling them what technology or design to use. We have confidence in the private sector's ability to find the most efficient solution. We know that Infrastructure Ontario, in partnership with Metrolinx, will drive this project forward for the benefit of this region and for all of Ontario. Because when IO, Metrolinx, and our government achieve our goals by creating faster, lower-cost commuter rail service, more people will become commuters. This will also help ease this region's $11 billion congestion problem, and that is good news for all the people in Ontario. I'm from a small town in southwestern Ontario, like the Minister of Transportation, and I know when I moved to Toronto a number of years ago part-time, I learned a few good lessons in commuting. For example, I learned that if I miss my subway, I don't have to worry because there's another one right behind it. This P3 project, combined with Metrolinx and the province's other expansion efforts, will give GO commuters the same reassuring confidence. So again, thank you very much for having me here today, and I'd now like to call on Metrolinx CEO Phil Verster.
Thank you very much to both ministers. And it's fair to say that the investment in GO expansion that's announced today is fantastic and unprecedented for GO customers. Every GO customer I meet, every GO customer I talk to every day talks about capacity and the need for us to provide more opportunities for people to travel. And when you look at this, this investment, in the next 12 years, it'll increase our capacity from roughly the 60 to 65 million customers we move per year to around 155 million customers we will move by 2031. And that means at least 145,000 road vehicles off the road every day because people can travel by train. It means an average reduction of people's journey times of around 20 minutes per journey. This is fantastic. The economic benefits, as the Minister McNaughton has said, for the province is roughly $2.60 for every dollar invested. It's a fantastic outcome, and it's great for us to launch on this huge program with a very competent supply that we have lined up to deliver this project. Thank you very much.
We're going to do questions at the mic. So if you have a question, let us know who you are, where you're from, your media outlet, and then let us know who you wish to direct your question to. We'll do one question and one follow-up.
Oliver Moore, the Globe and Mail. I think it was Minister McNaughton said about the best technology to replace diesel, that the bidders would figure out what the best technology was and present that to you. Is electrification no longer necessarily on the table?
You want that?
So when we talk about technology here, electric traction, which can either be by overhead catenary system or by a hydrogen fuel cell, is really the technology that we're talking about as the most feasible going forward. Between those two options, we think that's most likely where the technology choice on traction is going to land. However, let's not simplify it, because when you think of train builders and the choices they make, there are many different types of traction models and choices they've got. So it's not just a technology choice, it's also how you implement the technology. You can have an electrical multiple unit. You can have an electrical loco. You can have electrical loco with huge battery packs and less overhead catenary. You can have a hydrogen fuel cell solution. You can have a combination of diesel and electric. So the choice of traction, there's about 6 or 7 or 8 technologies that can be used out there, as the Minister referred to. I think what's really important about how we've structured this inquiry is it's not prescriptive, it's not precluding what the solution should be, but it's allowing the market to make us the best possible offer which gets the best possible value for taxpayers during the delivery period and for the 35-year operating period thereafter.
And then a follow-up. How real of an option is hydrogen rail at this point?
Yeah, it's a really good question. When you think of hydrogen fuel cells, it's not yet proven for the bi-level solutions that we are talking about. But it is proven enough that the first products have appeared out there in the market. And what has been so good about the collaboration between IO and Metrolinx, and Aaron and his team have been working closely with our team, is that the way that we have structured this procurement is such that there's room for a bidder to figure out when they want to deliver the hydrogen solution to us. It's not like an LRT, which is a greenfield solution and we must have it within 2 years of contract signature. There's a little bit of latitude to take 2, 3, or 4 years, as long as the net present value or the real value to taxpayers is at the right price level. So technology in hydrogen fuel cells is developing very rapidly, and it's for bidders to decide whether they want to offer that solution to us.
Hi there, Jack Howen from Queen's Park Briefing. It's for Minister Yurek. Have you responded to the 61 questions that the City of Toronto has about the transit upload? And if not, why not?
We are currently going through the 61 questions with Metrolinx, and we'll continue to work with the City of Toronto through the terms of reference that we've worked out, and when our questions are answered, we'll be delivering them through our terms of reference through Michael Lindsay and the staff at City of Toronto.
And for Minister McNaughton, you said at the Ontario Place announcement that there would be no public money for the Ontario Place development. Will you rule out on record any public money for an NFL stadium in the future?
Well, look, obviously we're excited about the call for development at Ontario Place. That process is going to run until September the 3rd. We're looking for the brightest, the boldest, the biggest ideas from around the world to come forward, and we'll obviously have more to say about that, but I can tell you when it comes to Ontario Place that there will be no government money going into that development there.
Mathieu Simard, Radio-Canada. Can you give us more details on your request for proposal tomorrow? Like how many stations, how many stops are we looking at? What's the timeline you're looking at?
So the request for proposals is going to be very much outcome driven. So we are not building stations. This is only investment in rail capacity and the modification, significant modification of Union Station itself.
Okay.
So the capacity increase we are talking about on many corridors where we had single tracking, we'll have double tracking. There's a very big part of this proposal that's going to ask for a different traction solution to diesel only. The reason for that is that electrified traction gives significant benefits in terms of overall life cycle cost and for journey time operation, because traction on electrical vehicles gives fast acceleration, faster deceleration, and therefore shorter journey times.
But you're not looking to add more stops anywhere or anything?
So no stations are getting added at this point in time. However, by a separate process, we are engaging with developers based on the guidance from Minister Yurek to look at how to maximize developer interest in building new stations. And over the next 10 years, we will consistently be adding stations, but it's outside of this project.
Ben Spur from the Toronto Star. I'm not sure who is best poised to answer this, but the federal government had already announced a contribution of $1.8 billion or so to the GO expansion. He's confirmed that the money from the infrastructure bank is not in addition to that. And what's the advantage of having that money come through the bank?
This is additional money, so this is additional federal support targeted at precisely this phase of the project. I think the amount that you're referring to refers to other phase of work and other federal support that's been contributed to Metrolinx work. So this is an additional $2 billion in what I think is clearly a transformational project for the GTHA.
And so, Pierre, could you just elaborate a little bit on the advantage of having the money come through the infrastructure bank as opposed to traditional funding arrangements?
Most importantly, I think, is this is additional money to the traditional funding mechanisms that are in place. So this does not take away from existing programs, existing projects, or existing envelopes. This is additional money for the benefit of Ontarians.
And if I could just follow up on something Phil said there, can you give us an update on where the transit-oriented development station process is? How soon could we see an agreement to actually build a new station on these on the GO network?
So, what is so good about our collaboration between Metrolinx and IO is we've got a joint Metrolinx IO team that is working through a list, what we call sort of an intake funnel of around 10 very significant station developments. We have announced 2 of those already. There are more that will be announced by Minister Yurek in the months to come. And the program is really very active. We've had very significant developer interest. I mean, I could give you an example. As late as last week, we had developers from all over the network met with myself and had conversations about what opportunities there are in their part of the region. So the transit-oriented development program is a really important building block for us, and you'll continue in the coming months to see more announcements in that regard.
Any other media? Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. See you at the next